indie film thing works. You've been at a few festivals.
The cool thing is at Sundance, which was really the world premiere, people went nuts over it, and we sold the film and to a company called Think Film, who did they released Spellbound and Born into Brothels, which won the Oscar this year, and a bunch of really interesting things. And they're really fearless. They're really ballsy. Like we said to them, they were like, well, this is an NC-17 rating, and we're like, you know what, we don't even want to go that road. We'd like to release it without going to those people, because who are they to tell us what we should see or shouldn't see?
Yeah.
And they have balls this deal, and they said, you know what? We're in with that. Let's do it. So we're releasing it unrated, and it'll probably open in theaters in late July.
That's excellent. It's going to be so much fun to watch.
It really is a blast. I mean,
because when I was first told about it, I was, hey, we want you to do this. Emery said, yeah, it's a film, and it's going to be a bunch of comics all telling the same joke, but you get to do your version of the joke. And I'm like, that sounds really, really dumb and boring.
I know, it sounds like a bad idea, doesn't it?
I watched 45 minutes of just rough footage you showed me, and I couldn't wait to see more.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I also, can I just... let me tell your audience.
You tell them anything you want.
And you're not here, all right? Doug is such a great guy. Now, I really, before we started this, I barely knew you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we crossed paths a couple of times. I didn't really know you. And I called you out of the blue because I'm such a fan, and we were really down to the wire on stuff, and I was like, I really want you in. The opportunity came up. I came over to your house and showed you this stuff, and you, like, without hesitating, you were like, I'm in. What can I do? What can I do? And that's just... You were great, and that's the vibe that the whole movie has. Everybody who was in it was like really excited to be in it.
And yeah, and again, listening to some of those people that you would absolutely never expect that stuff from, telling their version of this joke is brilliant.
Well, the amazing thing is Bob Saget, who does one of the most outrageous versions of it. And when we shot him, he went on for like 40 minutes doing this joke. And he, as we all know, all the comics that know Bob know he's got the filthiest mouth in the world.
Yeah.
But the audience comes in and they're like, they can't believe it. And it's hilarious. And for the first time, and Bob has said this too, he did an interview with Frank Rich about it, and he was aware of the fact that he's like, this is the first time that I really feel like people are getting to know me.
Yeah.
And as you can share, you can join in on this. He is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Yeah, no, I've never seen him live, but I have seen like HBO stuff that he's done. That was
Did you ever hang out with him?
No, I never hung out with him.
Oh my God, the filthiest mouth in the world. Can I tell you Bob Saget's story?
Sure.
This will tell you everything you need to know about Saget. A few years ago, he was still married to his first wife. He was having his first baby. Terrible complications during the pregnancy. His wife goes into the hospital, is in a coma for like 3 weeks. The baby is born, barely alive. They resuscitate the baby. They keep that in an incubator for weeks. Baby is in and out of comas. Like really tragic, possibly like horrible scenario. Time passes. They're okay. They come home. Backstory is important here just to bump up the effect of it.
Sure.
I call him up and I say, Bob, can I come over and say hi? Is everything cool? You feel okay with it? He's like, yeah, come on over. I go over. He's like, how's Sherry? Sherry's in bed. She's, really recuperating. So, she's in bed. She says, the baby's asleep right now. She said, would you like to see the baby? I said, I would love to. And he opens the door and it's pitch black, but this shaft of light comes through the doorway and it just lands perfectly, cinematically, like a Ridley Scott movie. It just lands across the baby's face and you see the mobile just gently spinning above his head. And it's absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. And I just looked at him and I said, Bob, she is absolutely gorgeous. And he went, yeah, for $1, I'll let you finger her. So that's everything you need to know about Saget.
Comics just share most, or decent comics anyway. There's just that morbid sense of humor that I just love about life that I could never go back into a civilized society.
It's so hard. I spent about 5.5 years away from the stand-up world. I was doing a lot of acting.
Yeah, you dropped out for a while.
Yeah, just wanted to just sort of, you hit a midlife crisis. What do we do in a midlife crisis? We live like idiots and college students anyway, so in a midlife crisis, it either goes like totally over the other side or you get a desk job.
Yeah.
So I went off and did some acting and did some plays and all that sort of shit, but I was out of the comedy scene the way we're normally in it, where it's like your way of living.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how horrible it is outside of the comedy world. People just don't understand what's funny about all the shit we have to deal with in life.
Take everything so fucking seriously, and
It's unbelievable, and that has a lot to do with the vibe that this movie has, which is really a love letter to the art form. Because when I came back into it, I was like, I came back into it so invigorated from having been away from it for so long, and feeling it again was like it was like life affirming, and I was like, I fell in love with stand-up comedy again, and this movie, is full of that kind of vibe.
So where can people find out more about it, or you have a?
They can go to the Think Film website. There's some reviews there, which have been astonishing. The reviews, it's so funny. We expected like real polarized reviews, but people are getting it, and we expected like half of every audience to get up and walk out, but it's like dribs and drabs. A handful of people walk out, and the rest of the audience is just loving it. They're getting it, which is a good sign.
Well, yeah. Well, with that many names, though, like marquee names in it, even stupid people will be,
Yeah,
well, it must be good. I don't get it, but it must be good, or they wouldn't have George Carlin in it.
That's what we were feeling. When we made the movie, and Emery, who just did the most astonishing, genius editing work in this, and when you see the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's one of those things where you just go, how the fuck did they take over 100 hours of material and do this?
Yeah.
All non-linear, by the way. He just was astonishing. And as we were cutting, we would look at something and say, oh, this might be too much. Should we do this? For a nanosecond. Then we look at each other and say, nope, we're making this movie for ourselves. And that's what we did. So it's got a real comic sensibility. But the reviews have been incredible, and some of them are up on the Think Film website, which is thinkfilmcompany.com.
But the two openings, I want to plug this somehow. Do you have an opening in New York?
Well, right now they were planning on opening in New York and L.A. for a couple of weeks, and then going out.
Oh, okay.
But the response has been so tremendous that they may open a little bit wider. But it's going to be in New York and L.A. for sure at the end of July.
All right, cool. Well, keep your eyes out for the Aristocrats. Paul, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you. And again, let me publicly say thank you for coming and doing this, because you bring so much to it. And when you hit the screen, it takes a turn. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
All right.
It's great. So thank you for your laughs and taste and dignity.
I'm getting tumors in my ass from the smoke. Hey, thanks, Paul. I'll talk to you when I get back to
All
L.A.
right, talk to you later. Say hi to Reed.
I will.
Bye.
Renee, Paul says hi. I think you just kind of did that. You better be fucking listening. All right, so that was Paul Provenza.
It was.
Yeah.
He's great. He's good. He's good. He's a talented dude.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that I take inspiration from for dropping out of society for a while. We got a call? Go ahead. Who do we got? My wife saying, say hi back.
Rooney.
Hey, Stanhope, you are a twisted fuck, man. I like you.
It's harder and harder to top yourself.
Hey, fuck you. What about us two, man? We're twisted too.
I never heard of you guys. But you know what? You guys are rocking the room, man. So
we're getting our shit together. Yeah, it's 20 to 8. We're finally getting in a groove here.
Yeah, good chemistry, man. It's good chemistry. I gotta tell you something, Doug.
Tell me.
I'm a fucking truck driver, 19 years, right?
Wow.
And I fucking hate truck drivers, and that fucking bit you do on the drivers, man. Right? It's so on the fucking money, it ain't funny.
It's so annoying.
Funny,
I know they got a job to do, but they never mind.
Oh, that hits home. That hits home like you wouldn't believe, man.
I was going to do a bit about going through Yellowstone Park and do campers, but, I started thinking about your bit about trucks and slow driving, and I was like,
you can get all these bits at DougStanhope.com when you buy my goddamn CD out there.
Listen to the plugging going on.
Yeah. Hey, you think Sirius paid me to come out here?
Hey, I'm a stockholder, man. Welcome to my company.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are good, man.
Hey, where are you out of? Where do you drive out of?
I live in Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
That's going to suck even worse. It's one thing being a truck driver, but having to do it on the East Coast with all this traffic and twisty shit.
I got the best job in transportation, bro. I'm driving right now. I work nights.
No, driving the Girls Gone Wild bus would be the best job in transportation. All right. Hey, thanks for calling. Who else we got?
Hey, man.
Oh, we're going to take a quick break. I'm getting the hook. We need to fine-tune this. We need some to tweak this a little bit. Okay, we'll be right back with Raw Dog Doug Stanhope's show. Bye. We're back. Joe's Garage. How beautiful is this album? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play obscure comedy and occasional obscure music.